So the question is, can I get bail if I'm arrested for a DUI? And the answer is generally yes. For most crimes, unless, you've committed murder or some type of violent offense, and, you're a threat to the victim or to other property, unless it's one of those kind of extreme scenarios, you are entitled to bail, okay? Now, if you're arrested for a DUI, first offense DUI in either San Mateo or Santa Clara counties, you're not necessarily going to go to jail. You may go in San Mateo County to a place called First Chance, which is like a sobering facility. Or in Santa Clara County, you may get taken to a police department, and then the police will say, hey, call somebody, who has a valid license and who's sober and who could give you a ride, and you can get out of there. In that situation, you may not even have to pay bail. You may be released on your own recognizance, okay? Own recognizance coming up later in court. In that scenario, you may be released with a notice to appear, okay? And with the notice to appear, you'll have a court date. And then when you show up to court, that's when, you may be released on something called your own recognizance, meaning you don't have to pay bail, but you may have to follow certain conditions that the judge sets. For example, you agree not to drink while your case is ongoing. Now, when we're talking about a second DUI situation, that's where it's much more common that you're going to have bail imposed. Generally you're going to have bail starting at no less than $10,000 usually for a second DUI, and it's, going to be $15,000, or more. And if you don't get arrested and taken to the jail on a second DUI, consider yourself fortunate. It doesn't always happen that you get taken to the jail, but I would say that's more common on a second DUI. And you can be released with a notice to appear, just like in a first offense DUI. But when you show up to court, if you've only received a notice to appear, it may be the case that a prosecutor, for example, in San Mateo County, is going to ask the judge to set bail because you're a quote-unquote risk to public safety, and that, taking you into jail is what's required to protect the public from you and your drinking and driving, issues. And in San Mateo County, you can expect to be remanded at your first court date on a second DUI. It's not uncommon. Now, hopefully you're working with a lawyer who could help you to avoid that situation. It's not always avoidable, but to the extent that it can be, that's what you're going to want a lawyer for, okay? Now, on a second DUI, like I was saying, generally you're going to have bail. And bail means money that you have to pay to be released from the jail. And if you don't pay the money, then you're not going to be released. Now, there's more wrinkles to that. If you cannot afford bail at all, the judge should theoretically release you, but with certain conditions instead that protect public safety. And one thing that, you should be aware of is even if you pay bail, the judge may still impose conditions to protect public safety, such as you having to wear a device that detects whether you're drinking or not. So wear a monitor around your ankle to see if you're consuming alcohol. So the judge could impose conditions as a condition of bail to make sure that, the public is protected. So just know, you could be in a first offense released on your own recognizance without having to pay any money, or on a second offense, you're probably paying bail. And of course, a third or more, generally, of course, you're going to more likely than not have to be bailing out in all those situations. Eventually, bail, you don't stay out of jail forever. When the case finishes, and if you get a jail sentence and you don't get a jail alternative, at that point in time, you go to jail or prison if it's a felony, okay? And then there is no bail. Once you're sentenced, there's no bail. You can't keep paying money to stay out of jail. At some point, you gotta serve your time. So if you have questions about it, give me a call. I'm Nafiz Ahmed, and I'm happy to talk to you about it.